fractions. This is because their perception of life and their existence is discontinuous.
Harry reacts to shit when he runs out of stories and entertainment. Dude, here's the thing, guys. Here's the issue. If I'm already out of stories, what the hell am I supposed to do for the next 10 years while I stream if I'm already out of stories? Like, Clint Stevens just repeats the same stories and just makes up new ones. But it's like, do I really want to, like, stoop to that level? You have tons of stories? I have a really boring life, Randomalistic. Spoon story? Oh, did I talk about the spoon story? I did already. I already told you guys about that story. Did I? Did I tell you guys about the spoon story? I mean, I must have, considering Bananas saying spoon story, lol, lol. You referring to Clint's spoon story? Oh, I have my own spoon story. This is great. This is wonderful. Look at this. Me and Clint Stevens both have a spoon story. In junior year of high school, I had a friend. I made friends with somebody in like freshman year, and then later I became friends with his friend. And one night, me and this other friend decided to go out and just walk around our town at night and just hang out and chill. It was like 9 p.m. And we walked around. It was like when like the clown stuff was happening, and like we like went like into the woods. It was really weird, whatever. And we went to CVS and we bought ice cream. And we got Ben & Jerry's ice cream. Like, we each got our own full thing of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. But we didn't have any spoons, right? There was no spoons at all. We couldn't get any. We like went, there was none at CVS. Every other place was closed. So we had to, like, bite into the ice cream and, like, use our fingers to, like, scoop ice cream into our mouths. It was atrocious. So we did that. It was really bad. It was not fun. A week later, we decide to go out again. Do the same thing. Go out at night. Just go for a walk at night. Same time, like 9 o'clock. And we're like, oh my gosh, dude. We should bring spoons with us in case we want to get ice cream. Another thing I haven't said, by the way, is this friend, he lived in a sketchy part of town, and he was like a new friend of mine, so my mom was like really sketched out by him because he lived in this weird part of town. My mom didn't know anything about him. But basically, I come home, before I left to leave, and then I walk back in to get a spoon from the kitchen counter or whatever. And I'm like, bye, Mom, and like I wave to her with the spoon in my hand. And she looks at me, and she's like, wait. I'm like, what? Like, I don't want you going out. And I was like, why? It was like, I just don't want you to. I was like, Mom, are you serious? Like, I'm just going to go with my friend. Like, it's not a big deal. Whatever. She lets me go, but she's like freaking out about it, okay? And I'm like, I don't know why she's freaking out about it. Like, what's the big deal? So I go out. While I'm out, my mom's like calling all of her like friends, like freaking out about me. Like, what is my son doing? Apparently, I didn't know this until I watched Breaking Bad. The way that crack, like, I think heroin addicts shoot up heroin is they take a spoon and they use a needle and they take it from the spoon and inject it into their body. And this kid lived in a sketchy part of town. So my mom was like convinced, because she heard that people like sell drugs at the same place that he was living at. So my mom was like, oh my gosh, my son is like doing heroin and shooting up heroin. Like, he's getting a spoon to do heroin. Like, what the hell? So she calls up all her friends. She's freaking out about it. I come home with ice cream and a spoon. And like, I come home and she's like yelling at me. She's like, what are you doing with that spoon? Why'd you go out with the spoon? And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, what? And she was like, I don't know why you took a spoon. I was like, Mom, I'm just going to get ice cream. And she was like, I don't believe that. Like, that's a lie. And she literally was convinced that I was using the spoon to shoot up heroin. And it took me like 15 minutes straight of trying to convince her. And even after that, she didn't really believe me. And like, she would never let me go out with this friend again. She was like, I don't care. You're not going with this friend. You're not going to the sketchy part of town. It's not happening. You're going out late at night with spoons. It's ridiculous. And I should have showed her my arms. True. She wouldn't believe me. But yeah, my mom was completely convinced that I was a drug addict, and she told all of her friends that I may be a drug addict. So there may be some of my mom's friends that think that I shoot up heroin. Which is kind of sad, because I don't do that at all. Does she still think that's what I'm doing? I think at this point she's like accepted the fact that I wasn't doing that. But yeah, that's my spoon story. It's funny that Clint has a spoon story. I don't know what Clint's spoon story is. I've never heard of it. But that's my spoon story.